The lion is a large felid of the genus Panthera, native mainly to Africa. It has a muscular, deep-chested body, short, rounded head, round ears, and a hairy tuft at the end of its tail. It is sexually dimorphic. Adult male lions have a prominent mane. With a typical head-to-body length of 184 to 208 centimeters (72 to 82 inch), they are larger than females at 160 to 184 centimeters (63 to 72 inch). It is a social species, forming groups called prides. A lion pride consists of a few adult males, related females and cubs. Groups of female lions usually hunt together, preying mostly on large ungulates. The lion is an apex and keystone predator, although some lions scavenge when opportunities occur, and have been known to hunt humans. The species typically does not. Typically, the lion inhabits grasslands and savannas, but is absent in dense forests. It is usually more diurnal than other wild cats, but when persecuted, it adapts to being active at night and at twilight. During the Neolithic period, the lion ranged throughout Africa, Southeast Europe, and Western and South Asia, but it has been reduced to fragmented populations in sub-Saharan Africa and one population in Western India. It has been listed as vulnerable on the IUCN Red List since 1996 because populations in African countries have declined by about 43% since the early 1990s. Lion populations are untenable outside designated protected areas. Although the cause of the decline is not fully understood, habitat loss and conflicts with humans are the greatest causes for concern. One of the most widely recognized animal symbols in human culture, the lion has been extensively depicted in sculptures and paintings, on national flags, and in contemporary films and literature. Lions have been kept in menageries since the time of the Roman Empire and have been a key species sought for exhibition in zoological gardens across the world since the late 18th century. Cultural depictions of lions were prominent in ancient Egypt, and depictions have occurred in virtually all ancient and medieval cultures in the lion's historic and current range. The word lion is derived from Latin, leo, and ancient Greek, lambda epsilon omega nu or leon. The word Levi Hebrew may also be related. The generic name Panthera is traceable to the classical Latin word panthera and the ancient Greek word pi alpha nu theta eta rho panther. Panthera is phonetically similar to the Sanskrit word pandera, meaning pale yellow, whitish, white. Felis leo was the scientific name used by Carl Linnaeus in 1758, who described the lion in his work Systema Naturae. The genus name Panthera was coined by Lawrence O'Cahan in 1816. Between the mid-18th and mid-20th centuries, 26 lion specimens were described and proposed as subspecies, of which 11 were recognized as valid in 2005. They were distinguished mostly by the size and color of their manes and skins. The Panthera lineage is estimated to have genetically diverged from the common ancestor of the felid around 9.32 to 4,470,000 years ago to 11.75 to 0.970000 years ago, and the geographic origin of the genus is most likely northern Central Asia. Results of analyses differ in the phylogenetic relationship of the lion. It was thought to form a sister group with the jaguar, that diverged 3.46 to 1,220,000 years ago, but also with the leopard, that diverged 3.1 to 1,950,000 years ago to 4.32 to 0.0200000 years ago. Hybridization between lion and snow leopard ancestors possibly continued until about 2,100,000 years ago. The lion-leopard clade was distributed in the Asian and African Palearctic since, at least the early Pliocene. The earliest fossils recognizable as lions were found at Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania and are estimated to be up to 2 million years old. Estimates for the divergence time of the modern and cave lion lineages range from 529,000 to 392,000 years ago based on mutation rate per generation time of the modern lion. There is no evidence for gene flow between the two lineages, indicating that they did not share the same geographic area. The Eurasian and American cave lions became extinct at the end of the last glacial period without mitochondrial descendants on other continents. The modern lion was probably widely distributed in Africa during the Middle Pleistocene and started to diverge in sub-Saharan Africa during the Late Pleistocene. Lion populations in East and Southern Africa became separated from populations in West and North Africa when the equatorial rainforest expanded 183,500 to 81,800 years ago. They shared a common ancestor, probably between 98,000 and 52,000 years ago. Due to the expansion of the Sahara between 83,100 and 26,600 years ago, lion populations in West and North Africa became separated. As the rainforest decreased and thus gave rise to more open habitats, lions moved from West to Central Africa. Lions from North Africa dispersed to Southern Europe and Asia between 38,800 and 8,300 years ago. Extinction of lions in Southern Europe, North Africa and the Middle East interrupted gene flow between lion populations in Asia and Africa. Genetic evidence revealed numerous mutations in lion samples from East and Southern Africa, which indicates that this group has a longer evolutionary history than genetically less diverse lion samples from Asia and West and Central Africa. A whole genome-wide sequence of lion samples showed that samples from West Africa shared alleles with samples from Southern Africa, and samples from Central Africa shared alleles with samples from Asia. This phenomenon indicates that Central Africa was a melting pot of lion populations after they had become isolated, possibly migrating through corridors in the Nile Basin during the early Holocene. In zoos, lions have been bred with tigers to create hybrids for the curiosity of visitors or for scientific purpose. The liger is bigger than a lion and a tiger, whereas most tigons are relatively small compared to their parents because of reciprocal gene effects. The leopon is a hybrid between a lion and leopard. The lion is a muscular, deep-chested cat with a short, rounded head, a reduced neck and round ears. Its fur varies in color from light buff to silvery gray, yellowish red and dark brown. The colors of the underparts are generally lighter. A newborn lion has dark spots, which fade as the cub reaches adulthood, although faint spots often may still be seen on the legs and underparts. The lion is the only member of the cat family that displays obvious sexual dimorphism. Males have broader heads and a prominent mane that grows downwards and backwards, covering most of the head, neck, shoulders, and chest. The mane is typically brownish and tinged with yellow, rust and black hairs. The tail of all lions ends in a dark, hairy tuft that in some lions conceals an approximately 5 mm or 0.20 inch long, hard spine or spur that is formed from the final, fused sections of tailbone. The functions of the spur are unknown. The tuft is absent at birth and develops at around 5½ months of age. It is readily identifiable by the age of 7 months. Of the living felid species, the lion is rivaled only by the tiger in length, weight, and height at the shoulder. Its skull is very similar to that of the tiger, although the frontal region is usually more depressed and flattened, and has a slightly shorter, postorbital region and broader nasal openings than those of the tiger. Due to the amount of skull variation in the two species, usually only the structure of the lower jaw can be used as a reliable indicator of species. Skeletal muscles of the lion make up 58.8% of its body weight, and represents the highest percentage of muscles among mammals. The size and weight of adult lions varies across global range and habitats. Accounts of a few individuals that were larger than average exist from Africa and India. The male lion's mane is the most recognizable feature of the species. It may have evolved around 320,190,000 years ago. It starts growing when lions are about a year old. Mane color varies and darkens with age. Research shows its color and size are influenced by environmental factors, such as average ambient temperature. Mane length apparently signals fighting success in male-male relationships. Darker maned individuals may have longer reproductive lives and higher offspring survival, although they suffer in the hottest months of the year. The presence, absence, kalau and size of the mane are associated with genetic precondition, sexual maturity, climate and testosterone production. The rule of thumb is that a darker, fuller mane indicates a healthier animal. In Serengeti National Park, female lions favor males with dense, dark manes as mates. Male lions usually aim for the backs or hindquarters of rivals, rather than their necks. Cool ambient temperature in European and North American zoos may result in a heavier mane. Asiatic lions usually have sparser manes than average African lions. Almost all male lions in Penjari National Park are either maneless or have very short manes. Maneless lions have also been reported in Senegal, in Sudan's Dindar National Park and in Tsavo East National Park, Kenya. The original male white lion from Timbavati in South Africa was also maneless. The hormone testosterone has been linked to mane growth. Castrated lions often have little to no mane because the removal of the gonads inhibits testosterone production. Increased testosterone may be the cause of maned lionesses reported in northern Botswana. The white lion is a rare morph with a genetic condition called leucism, which is caused by a double, recessive allele. It is not albino, it has normal pigmentation in the eyes and skin. White lions have occasionally been encountered in and around Kruger National Park and the adjacent Timbavati Private Game Reserve in eastern South Africa. They were removed from the wild in the 1970s, thus decreasing the white lion gene pool. Nevertheless, 17 births have been recorded in 5 prides between 2007 and 2015. White lions are selected for breeding in captivity. They have reportedly been bred in camps in South Africa for use as trophies to be killed during canned hunts. Most lionesses reproduce by the time they are 4 years of age. Lions do not mate at a specific time of year, and the females are polystrous. Like those of other cats, the male lion's penis has spines that point backward. During withdrawal of the penis, the spines rake the walls of the female's vagina, which may cause ovulation. A lioness may mate with more than one male when she is in heat. Generation length of the lion is about 7 years. The average gestation period is around 110 days. The female gives birth to a litter of between 1 and 4 cubs in a secluded den, which may be a thicket, a reed bed, a cave, or some other sheltered area, usually away from the pride. She will often hunt alone while the cubs are still helpless, staying relatively close to the den. Lion cubs are born blind, their eyes open around 7 days after birth. They weigh 1.2 to 2.1 kg at birth and are almost helpless, beginning to crawl a day or two after birth and walking around 3 weeks of age. To avoid a buildup of scent attracting the attention of predators, the lioness moves her cubs to a new den site several times a month, carrying them one by the nape of the neck. Usually, the mother does not integrate herself and her cubs back into the pride until the cubs are 6 to 8 weeks old. Sometimes the introduction to pride life occurs earlier, particularly if other lionesses have given birth at about the same time. When first introduced to the rest of the pride, lion cubs lack confidence when confronted with adults other than their mother. They soon begin to immerse themselves in the pride life, however, playing among themselves or attempting to initiate play with the adults. Lionesses with cubs of their own are more likely to be tolerant of another lioness's cubs than lionesses without cubs. Male tolerance of the cubs varies. One male could patiently let the cubs play with his tail or his mane, while another may snarl and bat the cubs away. Pride lionesses often synchronize their reproductive cycles and communal rearing and suckling of the young, which suckle indiscriminately from any or all of the nursing females in the pride. The synchronization of births is advantageous, because the cubs grow to being roughly the same size and have an equal chance of survival, and sucklings are not dominated by older cubs. Weaning occurs after 6 or 7 months. Male lions reach maturity at about 3 years of age and at 4 to 5 years are capable of challenging and displacing adult males associated with another pride. They begin to age and weaken at between 10 and 15 years of age at the latest. When one or more new males oust the previous males associated with the pride, the victors often kill any existing young cubs, perhaps because females do not become fertile and receptive until their cubs mature or die. Females often fiercely defend their cubs from a usurping male, but are rarely successful, unless a group of 3 or 4 mothers within a pride join forces against the male. Cubs also die from starvation and abandonment, and predation by leopards, hyenas and wild dogs. Up to 80% of lion cubs will die before the age of 2. Both male and female lions may be ousted from prides to become nomads, although most females usually remain with their birth pride. When a pride becomes too large, however, the youngest generation of female cubs may be forced to leave to find their own territory. When a new male lion takes over a pride, adolescents both male and female may be evicted. Lions of both sexes may be involved in group, homosexual and courtship activities. Males will also head rub and roll around with each other, before simulating sex together. Although adult lions have no natural predators, evidence suggests most die violently from attacks by humans or other lions. Lions often inflict serious injuries on members of other prides they encounter in territorial disputes or members of the home pride when fighting at a kill. Crippled lions and cubs may fall victim to hyenas and leopards or be trampled by buffalo or elephants. Careless lions may be maimed when hunting prey. Ticks commonly infest the ears, neck and groin regions of lions. Adult forms of several tapeworm species of the genus Taenia have been isolated from lion intestines, having been ingested as larvae in antelope meat. Lions in the Ngorongoro crater were afflicted by an outbreak of stable fly Stomoxys calcitrans in 1962. This resulted in lions becoming emaciated, and covered in bloody, bare patches. Lions sought unsuccessfully to evade the biting flies by climbing trees or crawling into hyena burrows. Many died or migrated and the local population dropped from 70 to 15 individuals. A more recent outbreak in 2001 killed 6 lions. Captive lions have been infected with canine distemper virus, CDV, since at least the mid-1970s. CDV is spread by domestic dogs and other carnivores. A 1994 outbreak in Serengeti National Park resulted in many lions developing neurological symptoms, such as seizures. During the outbreak, several lions died from pneumonia and encephalitis. Feline immunodeficiency virus and lentivirus also affect captive lions.